Don't ever come up here again.
I'm not afraid of you!
Stop it! I need to check something. Wait here.
I'm ready!
Put the weapon down!
On a remote Scottish island, a former government assassin named Michael Mason lived alone in an abandoned lighthouse. For reasons unknown, he had left his violent past behind and chosen a quiet, isolated life. Whenever he ran out of supplies, his old friend, a former colleague, visited the island with his niece, Jessie, to deliver food. Mason had no family except his loyal dog. He spent his days feeding the dog, sketching, and even playing chess by himself to fight loneliness. A week later, Jessie arrived with another supply crate. Along with it, she handed Mason a small gift box, but he refused to accept it and coldly told her never to return before shutting the door. Jessie quietly left the gift on his doorstep and hurried back to the boat. Suddenly, a violent storm struck the sea. As Jessie rushed toward the boat, a huge wave swept her into the water. Seeing her through the window, Mason immediately jumped into the sea to save her. He found her trapped in a fishing net and managed to free her. Sadly, her uncle had already drowned along with his boat. Mason pulled Jessie onto his boat and performed CPR until she regained consciousness. When she asked about her uncle, Mason sadly told her that he had drowned, leaving Jessie heartbroken. Mason treated her injured foot, but the swelling remained. Jessie questioned why he hadn't informed the police about the accident, but Mason ignored the question and simply told her to rest. Jessie demanded that Mason take her home. She couldn't understand why he was living in an abandoned lighthouse that hadn't operated for years. Mason then revealed that she had no one left to return to. Her mother had died years earlier, she never knew her father, and her uncle had been the only person taking care of her. Shocked, Jessie wondered how Mason knew so much about her. While Mason was outside, Jessie searched the lighthouse and found a knife, which she secretly hid under her pillow. That night, she woke up from a terrifying nightmare and pointed the knife at Mason. Remaining calm, he took it away and told her it was just a nightmare, even taught her how to properly defend herself with a knife. Later, Mason helped her to the bathroom. Next, he spent some time sketching a portrait of his dog, showing his love for drawing. Jessie asked how he knew her uncle, and Mason replied that they had served together in the Royal Marines. When Jessie asked his name, Mason said it didn't matter. She then asked what his dog's name was, only to learn that he had never named it. Surprised, Jessie decided to name the dog Jack. Mason checked Jessie's foot and realized the infection had worsened. She needed medicine immediately. Taking his bag, he pushed his small dinghy into the waters and left the island for the first time in years. After Mason left, Jessie searched his belongings and found the same small gift box she had once given him. Inside was a miniature lighthouse. Meanwhile, Mason entered a nearby town and bought medicine from a pharmacy. Unaware of it, he was captured on a CCTV camera for the first time in years. Meanwhile in London, Hannahan, an acting prime minister, questioned Manafort, the head of MI6, about collecting the personal data of British citizens and using it to build a powerful intelligence system called DA, Total Human Engagement Analytics. Manafort defended the system, saying it helped the government make better decisions and detect threats before they happened. He argued that innocent people had nothing to hide. However, Hannahan was not convinced and decided to shut down DAA until Prime Minister Fordham made a final decision. At the same time, Mason went to a clothing store and bought a coat for Jessie. He returned without attracting any attention. Inside MI6 headquarters, Director Roberta was monitoring the activities and communications of British citizens through DAA. Suddenly, an alert appeared on the monitors. The system identified Mason as Timur Charmov, a wanted terrorist accused of bombing the British embassy in Algeria. Roberta immediately ordered an assault team to find and kill him. When Mason returned home, he gave Jessie the coat and she happily thanked him. Later, while they were having dinner, Mason heard a strange noise outside. He looked through his binoculars and spotted a boat heading toward the island. Realizing danger was coming, he told Jessie to hide in the bathroom, lock the door, and stay there until he returned. The MI6 assault team landed on the island to kill Mason. However, Mason had already prepared several traps for them. As the agents moved forward, they walked straight into one of his traps. At the same time, one armed guard entered the house, where Jack attacked him to protect Jessie. Sadly, Jack was killed during the fight. The guard then entered the bathroom and kidnapped Jessie. But before he could escape, Mason shot and killed him. Jessie, terrified, asked who the attackers were, but Mason refused to answer and told her to wait for him. When Mason entered the house, he was heartbroken to find that his beloved dog, Jack, had died while protecting Jessie. Although devastated, he stayed calm. He called his old friend and said he was going off script, meaning he would no longer follow the original plan. Mason quickly took Jessie to a boat and left the island. As they sailed away, Jessie kept asking about Jack. With a heavy heart, Mason finally told her that Jack was dead. Back at MI6 headquarters, Roberta tried to contact the assault team but received no response. She realized they had all been killed. She then assigned the mission to a new assassin named James Workman. Mason and Jesse reached the mainland and found a jeep parked outside a farmhouse. Mason planned to steal it. He told Jesse to wait outside while he sneaked into the house to find the keys. Before he could leave, he was caught by a young boy named Callum and his farmer father. Moments later, Jesse entered the house, pointed Mason's gun at the farmer, and ordered him to drop his weapon. She explained that Mason was injured and needed help. Meanwhile, at MI6 headquarters, Madison discovered that Timur Tremov's profile had been altered. Someone had changed the records and falsely identified Michael Mason as Timur. It became clear that Michael had been framed. Soon after, MI6 tracked Michael and Jesse to a farm in Scotland. Manafort secretly watched the live footage from a guard's body camera and was shocked to see Michael. He had also been secretly monitoring MI6's operations. Manafort immediately contacted James Workman and ordered him to kill both Michael and Jesse. This revealed that Manafort was the one who had framed Michael and wanted him dead, likely because of a personal grudge. Showing kindness, the farmer stitched Michael's wound, joking that he had only stitched sheep and goats before, never a person. Michael thanked him and asked for the keys to his truck. Meanwhile, Callum looked nervous. Michael quickly realized that the boy had called the police. A few moments later, police cars arrived with their sirens blaring. The farmer went outside to speak to the officers, but he was suddenly shot and killed. It wasn't the police, it was James Workman who had opened fire. The police then entered the house to arrest Michael, but a violent fight broke out. Michael defeated every officer by himself and escaped with Jesse in a police car. Back at MI6 headquarters, Roberta watched everything through the TAA network. Workman chased them in his car and crashed into the police vehicle, terrifying Jesse. But he was no match for Michael. Michael forced Workman's car to flip over and escaped. Soon, he reached a workshop filled with cars waiting to be repaired. Furious over his failure, Workman hijacked another police car and continued the chase. At MI6 headquarters, Roberta called former MI6 chief Manafort. She told him that removing him from MI6 had been a mistake. Manafort asked her to get to the point. Roberta asked if he knew Michael Mason. When she explained that Michael had defeated an entire assault team alone, Manafort revealed the truth. Years earlier, MI6 had secretly run a program called Black Kites. It was made up of elite agents who operated outside MI6's official control. Michael Mason was one of them. During one mission, he was ordered to kill a foreign intelligence officer. Instead, he spared the man's life, filed a false report, and disappeared. Manafort warned Roberta that Michael was far more dangerous than an ordinary assassin. He told her to use every possible resource to stop him. Roberta took the warning seriously and ended the call. She searched an old backup server and found Michael's Black Kite file. It revealed that Michael had helped an Iranian scientist defect after the scientist gave Britain valuable information about Iran's nuclear program. Instead of protecting him, MI6 ordered Michael to kill the scientist to erase all evidence. Michael refused to obey that order. Unknown to Roberta, Manafort was secretly watching her. He realized that she had discovered the real reason Michael had turned against the AA. Meanwhile, Michael and Jesse continued to run. Jesse demanded to know who he really was, but Michael stayed silent. As soon as they appeared on CCTV cameras, Manafort tracked their location and immediately sent it to Workman. Michael then took Jesse to a church, where they met his old friend Booth. Years earlier, Booth had officially declared Michael dead in Dad's database. Booth took them to his house. Michael asked Jesse to get some drinks from the kitchen while he spoke privately with Booth. Booth asked who Jesse was. Michael explained that her uncle had served with him in the Royal Marines. He said his first priority was to get Jesse safely out of the country. After that, he wanted to find out how Thea had managed to track him. While in the kitchen, Jesse found cancer medicine. She realized Booth was suffering from cancer. Booth searched Thea's records and found something shocking. When Michael had disappeared years earlier, Booth had changed his identity in the system to that of an oil worker in Aberdeen. But someone later changed it again and replaced it with the identity of Timur Tremaev, a wanted terrorist. Michael immediately realized that Manafort had secretly changed his identity in DA. Booth asked why Manafort still wanted him dead. Michael explained that years ago, he had refused to kill an innocent man whom he had promised to protect after the man helped MI6. Michael asked Booth to help Jesse leave the country. However, Booth refused. Michael asked why. Before Booth could answer, Jesse walked in and revealed the truth. She had seen Booth's cancer medicine and recognized it because her own mother had taken the same medicine before she died of cancer. Michael was shocked. Booth admitted that his doctor had told him he did not have much time left. That was why he could not take responsibility for Jesse. Michael then suggested asking Kamal Shah for help. Booth warned him that Kamal was a violent trafficker, and without MI6 controlling him, he could not be trusted. Despite the warning, Michael insisted that Booth arrange a meeting with Kamal Shah. Just as Michael and Jesse were about to leave, Michael heard footsteps outside. He quickly told Jesse to hide behind the wall. Then he picked up a sharp tool and waited behind the door. James' workman had come looking for them. He carefully entered the house and started shooting. During the fight, Workman overpowered Michael. Seeing this, Jesse stepped in and ordered him to let Michael go. Workman attacked her, but Michael fought back with a nail gun. With Booth's help, Michael and Jesse escaped. Later, Manafort contacted Workman and asked if the mission was complete. Workman replied, "Not yet." Booth gave Michael his car before leaving. As they drove away, Jesse begged Michael to let her stay with him, but Michael refused. He said the only way to protect her was to stop the people hunting them. By evening, they reached London. Soon, they arrived at Kamal Shah's nightclub. Michael deliberately started a fight with the guards outside so the would detect his location. Manafort immediately found them. But before he could send their location to Workman, Roberta blocked his access to the after realizing he was the one behind the plot to kill Michael. Inside the club, the guards took Michael and Jesse to Kamal Shah. Michael asked Kamal to get Jesse out of the country that very night with a new identity. At first, Kamal refused because he believed Michael was no longer useful. Michael reminded him that he had once helped Kamal run his trafficking business without Manafort finding out. Kamal replied that Manafort was no longer in power. Michael warned him that Manafort was now more dangerous than ever. Kamal still didn't believe him. Michael then explained that the moment the security camera outside recognized him, every MI6 agent within 25 miles had been activated. He told Kamal they had only 10 minutes before the agents arrived. Michael promised that after Jesse was safe, he would personally kill Manafort. Realizing the danger, Kamal agreed to help. Michael and Jesse went to her room. Once again, Jesse begged him to come with her. Michael refused, saying he had already made a deal with Kamal. Jesse looked at him and said, "I know you want to die because you have no one left to live for." Meanwhile, Roberta ordered her assault team not to shoot Michael or Jesse because she wanted them captured alive. At the same time, Manafort secretly sent his own assassins to kill them. Kamal gave Michael a passport, a new ID, and $20,000. He assured him that Jesse would be taken safely to his safe house in Spain. He also said that the boat would leave the Isle of Dogs in 30 minutes. Soon Manafort's assassins entered the club. Watching through the Roberta realized a rogue team was already inside the building. She immediately warned her own agents. As Michael and Jesse headed for the Isle of Dogs, Manafort's assassins attacked them. Michael defeated them one by one. During the chaos, one MI6 agent kidnapped Jesse. Michael chased after them while also fighting Roberta's assault team. He finally rescued Jesse, and they escaped on a motorcycle. They soon reached the Isle of Dogs, where a boat was waiting for Jesse. She refused to leave him and begged him to run away with her so they could live a normal life together. Through tears, Jesse said that Michael was all she had left. Michael comforted her and said this was the only way to keep her safe. Just then, workmen arrived and opened fire. Michael pushed Jesse onto the boat to protect her and fought back. A brutal fight followed. Michael grabbed a heavy chain and used it to kill workmen. Manafort was drinking a glass of water at his house. A woman looked out the window and saw several bodyguards lying dead outside. Manafort realized someone had entered the house. He turned around and found Michael standing behind him. Manafort said that Michael had once been his greatest weapon, but he had broken the rules. He reminded him that the Black Kites followed only one law: absolute loyalty. Michael replied, "I finally chose humanity over blind obedience." He then shot Manafort in the head, killing him. 3 months later, Jesse was sitting in a coffee shop in Spain, reading a book. Roberta was still secretly watching her through surveillance, hoping Michael would eventually contact her. Suddenly, someone tilted a nearby security camera. Roberta immediately realized that it had to be Michael. A waiter walked over to Jesse and handed her a paper bag, saying it was from a friend. Outside the coffee shop, Michael quietly watched her without being seen. Jesse opened the bag and found a black rook chess piece inside. She instantly understood that Michael was nearby. But to keep her safe, Michael turned around and quietly walked away.